Hi everyone, I'm Hoodie Angel Brandon and welcome back to yet another Abyssal Mythic Hero battle. Today we are taking down the Chaos Goddess herself, Yune, to win a gold peach ducky, which, to my and I assume many other people's disappointment, is not actually at all peach. It is not it doesn't have any pink on it. This is not Mario Kart, it is not pink gold, despite what it's supposed to be, and that's just sad. But anyway, this map pretty difficult. Oddly enough, because of Infernal, the beginning wasn't that tough, but then a few turns later everything just fell apart and became very difficult. But finally figured out a solution. I always feel bad because when these maps come out I see people like within an hour like, oh, I figured it out with Gale Force and Dancers, and I'm like, oh, I'm not as good at this game as I like to think I am. But it's okay. It takes me longer, but I get to clear it with units that I like, and that means something to me. So today, leading the charge as always is Best Daughter Morgan. I was actually going to give her the day off, try and bring in more of the other characters, but she was the only character I had that could reliably tank that first onslaught. So here she is. Pretty standard setup. Close counter, Blar Owl. I tried to use Blar Blooms instead since I went to the trouble of pulling for that. But we actually were a few points off without the boost from having a second ally next to us. So we had to go with Blar Owl. Desperation also because she will be very low HP after that first wave of enemies, and then she won't have to tank anymore. She'll just be purely on the offensive, and this just keeps her safe when she does so. Iceberg over Aether because we want to be in desperation, so Aether's healing is not helpful, and also other specials were messing with the cooldown counts. Brazen Attack Res just gives some more punch, and Drive Res is to help Corrin tank some other hits. Also Klein, I think, but Corrin's the big one. Next up, Camilla, running her semi-standard support stuff. Camilla's Axe, Close Guard, both very useful. But she does have some other tricks up her sleeves. Drawback over reposition for this map. Because we don't always want Camilla to be like in the way of attacks. Moonbow over Aether for the faster cooldown count. Fury to help her get into escape route range and also to just improve her attack and speed. Speaking of attack speed bond, to help ensure the double after some debuffs, because Yune will be throwing out debuffs like crazy. And next up is wonderful male Corrin, not just for support, he's here on the offense as well, with a apparently redundant Fury 4 Axebreaker combo. It works. It looks weird, but it works. That's why we're stacking the Drive Res with Morgan, and also Klein has Drive Res. It's so that we can survive, or take so little damage that we don't chip ourselves down with Fury and stay in Axebreaker range. Also Brazen Attack Def for once we do drop, thanks to Fury. I was actually going to swap Corrin out for Soleil because I was getting annoyed and I was having a hard time. But it turns out Corrin was the only one who could get the job done because he has Drive Attack, which lets Morgan KO those first enemies, and Soleil does not. So it was meant to be. Corrin is here to stay. Also, his special is Iceberg. I was actually going through various specials to see which ones would work at a very specific moment, and none of them was working, and I was like, maybe I could try Bonfire, and I looked and I had no Bonfire fodder that I was willing to get rid of. I was like, oh no, and then I'm like, wait a minute, I was very stubborn and I went with plus res, so he has equal defense and res, so I can use Iceberg instead, and it works. So I feel validated. And finally, wonderful Klein with his new Argent Bow Refine, Chill Defense, RIP Wallheart, you died in vain. But having the B slot free is very useful. Now he can run attack speed link, which is just super useful for all the movement assist we're doing around, because it boosts him and it boosts his ally. We'll see both of those in action here. Blazing Wind is his special to get chip damage on. It's not to kill an enemy for him, but to chip down another enemy who's next to the target, so that he attacks into Camilla and just dies. That extra little bit of chip damage, it's not much, but it does give enough to get the kill, funnily enough. And Life and Death is to boost his attack high enough to ensure that kill. Otherwise, Drive Res and Drive Attack are just team support. Help Corrin tank and help Morgan. Well, it helps Morgan tank too, but also it helps Morgan get a kill with Drive Attack. So with all of that rambling out of the way, let's actually get into this. I always talk too long, but here we're going to take down Yune. And the map actually resembles what it looks like outside right now, because it's snowing. Hooray! It's supposed to be spring. Blah. Anyway, we're going to start things off with Klein here, drawing back Morgan, triggering that attack speed link. And next we're going to have everyone else just huddle around, get those Altome buffs, and also buffs from Camilla's Axe, Close Guard, ally support, and Corrin's Drive Res, or Drive Attack, and Klein's Drive Attack and Drive Res. So now we get debuffed by Yune, and then everyone just comes at us. This Lance Cavalier takes a huge chunk out of Morgan, but we return with the kill thanks to Drive Attacks. The Sword Fighter comes, takes a chunk. We don't even need our buffs. We just completely decimate this guy. Then finally, this Red Flyer comes, and thanks to Klein's Drive Res, we survive the hit. Take him down. There we go. That first turn isn't too hard to survive. I managed to get a number of skill combinations that let us survive that first round. And even this part isn't too tough, though this blue bow usually gave me problems. I was trying to kill him with Klein or get Camilla over to attack him. Instead, we'll just use Desperation and have Morgan do it.
Wait till you see this.
Done.
Okay.
And next we'll have Klein attack the Troubadour while Morgan's still over here, giving the Drive Res boost. Just helps him stay healthy a little bit. Got to get rid of that Troubadour who has gravity because it's very annoying.
Of course.
Next we can have Camilla pull Morgan back so that she's out of the Axe Knight's range.
Let's go.
And next we'll just have Corrin come, move Klein out of the way, trigger that attack speed link, and now we're going to tank. And thanks to the Drive Res from Klein and Morgan both being enraged, it helps mitigate a lot of that damage so that our Fury recoil is still leaves us in a decent spot so that we can have Axe Breaker up for both of these guys here. This is where the map started to get tough, and this is where all the experimentation came from. So first we're going to have Corrin come over here so we can tank both of these guys, get them out of the way. And Camilla will come, attack this thief, charge, or no, she does not charge her special because he has guard. Instead, we are going to, yeah, that's A to weaken him, but also to get us some fury damage. We're going to have Morgan trigger the attack speed link, move Klein into position, and as you can see, his AoE special hits this guy. It's not going to do much to the Lance Dragon, but it is enough to ensure Camilla gets the kill on when he attacks into her. So, Thief, gone. He was annoying. Caused a lot of deaths. But now the Lance Dragon, Even though Camilla's speed has been debuffed, we stacked enough that we get the debuff, or the double anyway. Hit him with the moon bow, and he's gone. And Fury triggers and gives us some more recoil. Axe Cavalier attacks Corrin. We just finished him with an iceberg. We take 8 more Fury damage, but we're still above half HP, so Axe Breaker lets us break through Axe Knight's wary fighter. Hit him with the iceberg, and he's gone. Alright, now Yune herself has decided to try and put an end to us. Flies down, but it's okay, we've got this. Now, thanks to that extra 6 damage from attacking that thief, Camilla's in Wings of escape route range, which is important, as we will see. First, we're gonna have Morgan trigger attack speed link, get Klein into position, who will use his Argent Bow to just take out this blue flyer, no problem. And now Camilla will use escape route to get out of the range of this red cavalier, and to pull Klein out of the range of the red cavalier. And finally, we're just gonna have Corrin come over here and stand next to Klein, get that drive res boost, and that Lance Knight rallies, and we take 22 damage. Without the drive res boost, we would have lost. But we have got it. Next, Corrin can come up and just decimate Yune. Take that. Get out of here. No more debuffs. We're bringing in order to all your chaos.
What's next? Okay.
Morgan will destroy the red cavalier with desperation. Not that he could even do damage back to us anyway.
Of course.
And from here, pretty much a simple cleanup. Just move everyone into position. This red Fafnir is just gonna get destroyed by Klein. Even though you're sitting on the snow, you're still counting as flying. And we don't want to actually bring Camilla in to tank this guy. He actually has Sturdy Blow and Attack Refined Silver Lance, and I think it's just barely enough to kill us, even with triangle advantage. So I said we'll just pass. Let him come to us. This is checkmate.
Let's go.
Hit him with, yeah. Morgan hits him with the checkmate, and that's game. There we go. And we got the gold peach ducky. There we go. It was annoying, but it wasn't the worst, or it wasn't the most frustrating map that I've cleared. But there we go. Thank you as always for watching the Angel Army just take down more annoying enemies. It's not an impressive turn 1 Gale Force clear, but it's still fun. Until next time, this is Hoodie Angel Brandon signing out.